All right, let's talk about a term that's been floating around a lot lately: edge computing. You've probably heard it, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's this really cool, powerful idea that's changing our digital world by basically bringing the cloud a whole lot closer to you. But let's start with something we all know. You've got the latest gadget, you're on a super fast connection, and yet you're still waiting. That little spinning wheel, that lag. It's maddening, right? Why is it that when everything is supposed to be getting faster, we still end up waiting? The answer to that question is exactly why we need to talk about the edge. So here's the deal. The root of the problem is data. We are creating an unbelievable amount of it. I mean, every single day, our phones, our cars, our smartwatches, our factories, they're all generating this absolute tsunami of information. And our current way of doing things, it's really starting to struggle to keep its head above water. To give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, just look at this number. By 2025, the world is on track to generate 175 zettabytes of data. And if you're wondering what a zettabyte is, it's a trillion gigabytes. It's a number so big it almost doesn't mean anything. But all that information has to go somewhere, and it has to be processed. And this is where things get interesting. The experts at Gartner are predicting that by that same year, 2025, a massive 75% of that data will be processed outside of a traditional centralized cloud. So think about that. The solution isn't just a bigger central brain. The future is about doing the thinking in a whole bunch of new places. Because here's the thing. The old model of sending every little piece of data on a long trip to a faraway cloud server just isn't cutting it anymore. You run into two huge roadblocks: latency, that's the travel time for your data, and bandwidth, which is how much data you can send at once. When you try to cram 175 zettabytes of traffic onto that highway, you get a digital traffic jam of epic proportions. So, if the problem is that our data has to travel too far, the solution is actually pretty straightforward, isn't it? You just shorten the trip. And that right there is the big idea behind the hero of our story today: edge computing. So what is it? Simply put, instead of a centralized system, it's decentralized. It's a strategy that says, hey, let's do the heavy lifting, the processing, and the storing right where the action is happening. This could be on your phone, a little server in your office, or a box on a telephone pole, anywhere at the edge of the network. It's all about handling the urgent stuff on the spot and only sending what's necessary back to the main cloud. Now, to really get this, it helps to imagine two totally different journeys for your data. One is like a long-haul flight across the country, and the other is a quick walk down the street to your local corner store. Okay, look at this breakdown. With traditional cloud computing, everything is centralized. Your data has to travel, sometimes thousands of miles, to a giant data center. That round trip creates delay, or what we call latency. But with edge computing, it's decentralized. The processing happens locally, super close to the source. And that means much, much lower latency. It's kind of like the difference between driving to the massive central library downtown versus just using the little branch library right on your block. One has everything, but the other gives you what you need right now. Okay, so it's faster. We get it. But is that it? No way. The advantages of moving all this computing power closer to home go way beyond just speed. This is where it gets really powerful. I mean, the benefits really start to stack up. You're talking about pure speed, rock-solid reliability, actually saving money, and way better security. Let's dig into these a little more. First up, speed. And for some things, a near-instant response isn't just nice to have. It's absolutely critical. Take a self-driving car. It can't afford to send a video of a pedestrian to a server 1,000 miles away and wait for instructions on whether to brake. That decision has to happen right there, in the car, in a fraction of a second. That's the power of the edge. Then you've got reliability. When your entire system depends on one central cloud, you have a single point of failure. If that data center has an outage, everything goes down. But because the edge is decentralized, a local store can keep processing payments even if its main internet connection is broken. You don't have all your eggs in one basket, which makes the whole network way more resilient. And of course, let's talk about the money. It costs a lot to constantly be sending massive fire hoses of data back and forth to the cloud. It's a huge bandwidth expense. By processing most of that data locally, you just don't have to send as much. You're cutting down on those data shipping costs, which makes the entire system way more efficient and affordable. Finally, and this one is a really big deal these days, privacy. Think about it. Every time you send your data across the internet, it's potentially exposed. With edge computing, sensitive information, like data from a security camera or personal health stats, can be processed right on the device. It never has to be sent out into the wild west of the public internet, which makes it fundamentally more secure. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But where is this stuff actually being used? The answer might surprise you. It's pretty much everywhere, and it's becoming more common every single day. I mean, just look at this list. We're talking about all those smart IoT devices, from thermostats to traffic sensors. We've mentioned self-driving cars. It's being used to build smart cities. You'll find it on automated factory floors, in retail stores. Even the augmented reality filters on your phone and the smart speaker in your living room rely on it. All these things need to think fast, and thinking fast means thinking local. You know, there's this great quote from the IEEE that really just nails the whole idea. It's about moving the computation away from data centers and towards the edge, using all the smart objects around us. See? It's not about destroying the data center. It's about rebalancing the workload across this huge, intelligent network of devices. And that brings me to what is maybe the single most important point of this whole thing. If you remember one thing, make it this. Edge computing is not replacing the cloud. This isn't some kind of war. They are partners. Edge computing extends the cloud. You can think of the edge as the fast, agile frontline workers handling immediate tasks, while the cloud is the powerful central headquarters handling the big picture analysis and long-term storage. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As everything around us, our phones, our cars, our homes, gets packed with more and more computing power, are we seeing a fundamental shift? Could this edge, this vast network of billions of smart devices, actually become the new center of gravity for our digital lives? Maybe the edge isn't the edge anymore. Maybe it's the new center. Something to think about.